What's going on, you guys? Some bad news, but we should be used to it by now, right? Hit that like button for your boy. On the road to 11,000. Give me that HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Hit that bell icon. All that YouTube stuff, right? But yeah, it's looking like Caleb Plant has turned down David Benavidez. According to Team Benavidez, Jose Benavidez Sr. came out on social media and said that Caleb Plant has declined to fight. And this is what Jose Benavidez had to say. He says, Team Benavidez has reached out to Team Plant, and unfortunately, Caleb Plant has declined to fight David Benavidez September 2022. David is willing to make the best fights happen for the fans, but unfortunately, the fighters who the fans want to see do not want to fight at David Benavidez. We will continue to prepare hard for this upcoming fight May 21st against David Lemieux, interim WBC World Super Middleweight title. Thanks to all the fans for the support, end quote. That's what Jose Benavidez Sr. had to say, the father of David Benavidez, in regards to Caleb Plant declining that fight. Unfortunate news for boxing fans. Very unfortunate news, man. And I seen some few red flags when I heard about this fight. Why? Because if we learned anything over the past 4 or 5 years, or however many it's been, and I mentioned this many times, once you start hearing about the negotiations in public, these fights tend to not happen. Now, we didn't hear anything about any numbers or splits or anything, but when these guys get in the public and they do all this hooping and hollering in public, these fights just don't happen. But fans would assume that at this point, this type of fight will happen because these guys been kind of going around each other for quite a while now, right? You know, Caleb Plant got the Canelo Alvarez fight out of the way. He got his big payday out of the way. Guess what? He still don't want to fight. But this is what Caleb Plant had to say in regards to, quote unquote, turning down the David Benavidez fight. He says this: he had a fight signed before me. Then I get a fight signed. Then he says some cap and y'all believe it. When are y'all going to learn that I don't got to hide or lie about anything? I haven't proved my character yet. Quote, said Caleb Plant on Twitter and making excuses for why he should fight David Benavidez in September. The dude wrote the article hilarious. Then Plant proceeds to say, so while in camp for one fight, his team is already negotiating for another one. LOL. Said Plant about Benavidez, failing to mention that his fight is a sure thing win against an overmatched David Lemieux. Now, we've seen this in boxing before, right? Was it the Mike Tyson? Yeah, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. They signed a contract early, right? They signed it early. Mike Tyson goes up in there with Buster Douglas. The unexpected happens, right? So the fight didn't happen. But they already had a fight signed. We've seen this before in boxing. There's many other occasions where a fight was already signed and they just had to get through the guy they was fighting, you know, previously to the guy they, you know. But Caleb Plant said, nah, I'm not doing that. You know, even though we know that David Benavidez should beat overmatched David Lemieux, who hasn't fought in quite some time, right? He should beat David Lemieux. Caleb Plant still just didn't want to sign a contract because of that. Come on, bro. Are you serious? So now it's looking like Caleb Plant is going to be fighting one of the Durrell brothers. This is what the 37-year-old Anthony Durrell. This is what Caleb Plant is going to be doing instead of going to a big fight with David Benavidez in 2022. I mean, whatever, man. It's unfortunate, man. But as boxing fans, we should be numb to this shit by now. We should be used to hearing bad news by now. It's almost like pulling teeth in boxing to get some of these more lucrative fights, even when these guys are on the same side. I can't believe this dude turned down David Benavidez. You already got your Canelo payday out the way. You got it early. You got it sooner than most. So, you know, a lot of fans were under the impression that a lot of these guys would hold themselves out for the Canelo payday. Caleb Plant got that Canelo payday. He still don't want to fight David Benny, bro. So he used the excuse that David Benavidez got to fight with Lemieux, which everybody already knew that. Anybody that follows boxing knew that David Benavidez had a fight with David Lemieux coming up May 21st. But he acted like he didn't know. So now that's a reason for him to pull out of the whole situation with Benny altogether. It's a poor excuse from Caleb Plant, man. And, you know, boxing fans, if they wasn't already looking at him with the side eye because of that 9th round against Canelo Alvarez where he showed that he was all buddy-buddy, he didn't do himself no favors by coming out here with this poor excuse, turning down David Benavidez. He didn't do himself no favors by this. This is not a good look for Caleb Plant, man. It's not a good look. Fans won't be questioning your character if you wouldn't have came out talking trash. See, he the one that even started this in the first place. David Benavidez was focused on David Lemieux. Then he comes out and says fat boy and all this other stuff, right? And then Team Benavidez responds. Then they try to get a fight made. Now Caleb Plant pulls back because he realizes that he already has a fight, but it don't matter. David Lemieux at this point is a stay busy fight for David Benavidez. It's a whatever fight. It's not, David Lemieux, he's seen better days. It's been a long time since we've seen Dave Lemieux. But he used that as an excuse to not fight David Benavidez. I mean, Caleb Plant really don't want to fight the guy, man. And this is what us boxing fans are dealt with being a fan of boxing. We hear more about declining fights than actual fights. And when I mean by declining fights, I mean the more interesting fights. Not these B-level fights. And we want to see Plant versus Benavidez. That's a good fight. It's still a good fight, even though Plant lost to Canelo Alvarez. That's Canelo Alvarez. This is still a good fight. And Caleb Plant don't want it. Like, subscribe, holler at your boy. Peace out.